should not be first responders to anybody in crisis, anybody that's been labeled to have mental health issues, nothing like that, okay? And that's a proven fact. And I'm going to give you a couple examples. Being at a motel, 2 Skowhegan police officers pulled in a couple weeks ago. And it was all due to somebody making a call about the person that they're with and screaming and crying. They're raping me, they're starving me. This person's outside in her bare feet, talking on the phone to the police, telling them all this stuff, okay? There hadn't seemed to be any commotion before that, and the police never questioned anybody about it. So what happened is, you know, my place is always on audio and surveillance, just like the cameras are at the motel on the outside. Well, I have them on the inside because I want to be safe inside my place. Okay, so I turn around and look out the window, and I'm seeing myself. The ambulance pulls in, driver gets out, goes around the other side, goes into the side door, comes out with something in his hand or her hand, meets up with the 2 officers. They go back in to the room accompanied by the EMT. The EMT comes back out. What do? Shoot this person up? After not asking any witnesses? They don't even know they have witnesses, do they? Because they didn't ask anybody. So that's another issue. They took a mental health patient's word without asking anybody else. And I'm not a mental health patient. They could have asked me if I knew of any situation taking place. But instead of asking anybody, door, there were many vehicles out in the parking lot. They didn't ask anybody if they had seen or heard anything. They took a mental health patient's word, client, from a phone call, called the ambulance. The ambulance goes into the side door, comes back out with something in the hand, goes in with the officers to the room. And the next thing I know, the EMT's coming back out and gone. And the 2 officers come out, one on each side of this person. And this person is starting to holler, but then stopping and not being able to walk properly. It's all on audio. It's all on video. And it's all on surveillance from the motel. So I would like to know how anybody else feels about the fact that you're being violated if you've ever had the cops show up at your house unannounced and you have something such as myself, PTSD. I may have known. I've got PTSD. You come unannounced to my house, I'm not responsible, but you're going to be responsible for not announcing yourself. Make it known very loud and clear. That's my right. I have the right to be protected. I have the right to safety. I have the right to be happy. And I have the right to peace. And I'm going to utilize my rights. Whether you like it or anybody likes it. Do I really care that you burned my home? No. Because it didn't stop me from telling the truth. So what did you really gain out of burning my home? Momentarily satisfaction. Is that it? Satisfaction for a moment? I mean, the taxpayers aren't happy about this. I really don't care about this. But I just got to keep on reminding you about this. People have rights. And you violated mine. And so, I want to know again, how do you feel about being violated by the police, state officials, and government officials? I say it's time for change. I think we ought to have peace officers, and I think we ought to have the police officers that are on the force. I believe that they should be trained to just do what they're supposed to do. I don't believe that they need to be speeding out of a parking lot and roaring down the road for anything at an amount of speed. None of them are trained to speed. Listen to that state trooper on the commercial on the radio, right? Talking about how he's trained to speed. What's your excuse? What the fuck is he trained to speed in is what I keep on asking people. A goddamn fucking tricycle? What? I don't get it. How are you trained to speed? He sounds like he's like just in his 20s. Could be older, could be younger. I don't know. Okay, but the fact is, how long has he been driving? What's he trained to speed in? He is no better, in all vehicles handled differently. So what are you trained to speed in, sir, is my question. You sounded like an idiot. Okay, and that's Maine State Police for you. So, knowing that you have the right... So that's the freedom to expression, okay? Number 19. I just expressed freely how I feel about it. Right to public assembly. I have the right to have all of you join me. We can rally. We can silently protest, peacefully protest. We can have dinner together. We can do whatever we want to together. We don't have to have permission to do that. So who are we to be congregating in our own little spaces and not with each other? Thinking that you have to be masked up or mandated if you're not. That's a violation of your rights. You don't have to do either. That's your right. Right to democracy? That means you don't have to be Republican or Democrat. You can be a libertarian. Libertarian is just what I am. I'm fighting for all of us. I don't care what's going out there with this World War III that's about ready to start. It's not going to affect who you and I are. We can sit back and laugh about it if we want. After we get done planting gardens and hanging out with our friends and families. That's what it's all about. Community. Helping each other. Sharing what we can. Teach each other. We don't need to pay for the government to mandate us and tell us what we can and can't learn. And pick who can and can't learn it. Think about that. Social Security. From the time you're born, Social Security is taking your money and using you as a pawn. That's the government, okay? It's called the Strawman's Act. Check it out. You're really going to find it interesting if you don't already know about it, right? So, I suggest, and I requested, all my money back. I'm not your pawn. You don't own me. I am who I am. And when I get mail, that's all in capital letters, I'm not an entity. I am Kimberly, capital K, lowercase Imberly. I make it known. I will send all that mail back, return to sender. Get my name straight. Do not misspell it and do not capitalize it. I am not your gain. I also want to again mention 0217666. Look it up. Google the number 0217666. Multi-level society living. I went from being a client ID to a case number, meaning that they're trying to deplete me. They're trying to kill me. Look it up. Workers' rights. I have the right to work. I don't have to stay on a lower budget than you at the town office just because they didn't want to register my business. I paid the state to be able to do what I do. But I haven't been able to do what I do. Why? Because the town of Anson decided to frivolously condemn and burn my home. Because they had a hate vendetta against Philip. And then vendetta against somebody they don't even know, which is me. And I can prove that they did this frivolously and that they're hating on me, which is a hate crime because you don't even know me. All these people involved with the fire department, how many of them can say they know me? They don't. They've never met me because I don't know them. And believe me, if I've met them, they wouldn't forget me. They wouldn't have done what they did. But because they hated, and haters are jealous people, That's what creates hatred, is jealousy. So what were you jealous of? The fact that I'm a single, widowed female? I was out there doing it myself, not asking anybody, and not inviting anybody. Because I don't like males. And isn't that why you hated on me? Because I'm a challenge to you? I showed you up? Or is it because, excuse me, pedophiles were revealed? Just want to know. But those are just some of the things. So you have the right to Social Security. They don't have the right to use you as a pawn, so let them know. That's my advice, my opinion. You don't have to. I'm just saying. You have workers' rights. Right to work and not be abused, like my friend Paul in Bellows Falls. I started a lawsuit for him, and he let go of it. But then, after I stopped talking to him, he called me a couple weeks ago, and he told me that he was back on it, and he thanked me very much. And the fact is that I started it for him in the same way that I start mine. He was denied, and I told him to fight it anyways, and he gave it a little time, but he reconsidered it. He went forward with it, and he called me, and they're done with it. They met at the table. They didn't even have to go to court. Why? Because I told him it was a cut and dry case. I showed him his proof and evidence, and he took it to the board. Okay? I showed him what his rights were. And that's all I'm going to say about it, other than the fact that he just got himself a nice settlement from Bellows Falls School in Bellows Falls, Vermont. How about that? And now he's going to continue with the one that we filed against Ben and Jerry's. Now that he sees that I was true and I helped him, and he knows, again, it's cut and dry, along with the other people that want to now join him and have me help them. Let's all file it against Ben and Jerry's, a class action. That's what they said to me. And I'm willing to do it. Why? Because Ben and Jerry employees abused my friend and a couple other of their employees with a board. Beat them with a board. Literally, beat them on the back with a 2x4 board. Okay? So with that being said, you can find that under Paul Reese on YouTube. He'll tell you all about TJ Donovan. Sure will. Y'all have a nice day.